There is a lot of potential in a puppy. There is so much that a puppy can be. If we teach him to trust, we can teach him to love people. And if we teach him the joy of working, we can teach him willingness to work. And because a puppy brings out the child in us all, part of the pleasure that we get from having a puppy is bringing out their playful nature.
Ann Childers is a noted behaviorist who is devoted to the training, psychology, and management of cats and dogs. She is considered an expert in her field by breeders and veterinarians worldwide.
Owning a dog is fun. Your dog can become a friend, guardian, and companion to you and to those around you. But as a responsible pet owner, you know that you've made a very serious personal and financial commitment. You may have a puppy right now who is starting to exhibit behaviors true to his breed, which may or may not fit into your own personality and lifestyle. It's up to you to try to train your pup so that he can begin to fit into your world. Puppy's First Year is a video guide designed in 5 parts to help you to anticipate and meet your puppy's needs as he goes through critical stages in his first year of life. Good boy. Some of you may not have puppies yet, but some of you may already have puppies, and you're asking yourself, why is my puppy jumping on people? Why is he chewing my slippers, destroying my rugs, barking? We're going to tell you how to manage these problems and more. But before we get to that, let's talk about selecting a puppy. After all, that is the start of Puppy's First Year. If you haven't already chosen a puppy, here's your opportunity to find out which puppy is going to be perfect for you and your family. Compile a list of the types of traits that you would like to see in your puppy and ask veterinarians, groomers, and breeders if the types of dogs that they're familiar with might meet your standards. Attend obedience schools and dog shows to find out what breeds are available. Perhaps there's some you haven't even thought of. Once you find a group of puppies, ask yourself, do I want a male or a female? Is this dog going to be for show or simply a pet? Sometimes the difference between a pet quality dog and a show quality dog is purely cosmetic. A light eye or an odd colored coat could disqualify a dog from the show ring, but that doesn't mean he's not a good dog. Expect to pay just a little more for a well-bred pet quality or show quality dog. Remember that the investment in a sound dog is a good one. Try to spend several hours with the puppy before you make a decision. Consider all the needs your puppy and grown dog will require: grooming, exercise, amount of food, veterinary care, and space, inside and out. Consider its personality, friendliness toward children, and toward strangers. Find out what the indoor and outdoor activity levels of this breed is. Try to match the temperament and personality of the dog with your own temperament and lifestyle. Also, check into the health and disposition of the sire and the dam. It's very important to get some information about whether the sire and dam and the grandparents are OFA certified. OFA certified means that the dogs have been checked for hip dysplasia. This is very important if you don't want to have a crippled dog as an adult. Also, check to see if the eyes have been checked. Make sure that your puppy has good vision. Check the source. Find out whether this is a responsible place, or pet shop or breeder, or whether they've had a poor history of turning out good animals. If one of the puppies looks sick, don't choose one there. Go someplace else. The ideal age to select a puppy is 49 to 56 days old, or 7 to 8 weeks old. Be cautious when adopting a puppy over 12 weeks of age. Unless you know the background of the pup, you should be assured that it has been well socialized to humans, that it has been exposed to new experiences, like riding in a car, going to other people's homes, playing with children and other dogs. If a puppy hasn't been socialized by this time, it may have what is called kennel dog syndrome, which is a problem with accepting new situations. Whether purebred or a blend of different breeds, every puppy has his own unique set of characteristics. Some are shy, some are aggressive, some are defensive, and some are very easy. Others are bright, and some are slow on the uptake. When choosing a puppy, check for dominance and social attraction to human beings. First, interact with the sire and dam as much as you can to determine their own individual temperament characteristics. Then, when the puppies are 7 weeks of age, take the puppy that you've chosen and perform a temperament test. Someone other than the owner must perform this test.
Place the puppy in a test room. From a few feet away, kneel down and clap your hands gently. Coax the puppy away from the spot where it first began the test. Look for a dog that comes right away. Tail is up and shows a willingness to come. The puppy should not bite at your hands or clothing. When the puppy sees you leave, he should follow. The second test is a little different. Put the pup on the floor and hold him gently on his back with one hand for about 30 seconds. Look for a puppy that struggles and settles alternately with some eye contact, or one that starts out struggling, then settles. For the third test, bend over the puppy with each of you facing the same direction. If your puppy is big or heavy, straddle the dog before lifting. Cradle his chest in your hands with your palms up and fingers interlaced. Lift him slightly off the ground for 30 seconds. For small puppies, place hands under forelegs and hold facing you. Hold for about 30 seconds. Do this sitting on the ground so the puppy doesn't get injured if dropped. Look for a puppy that relaxes. Let's face it, sometimes bringing home a puppy is a spur-of-the-moment decision, and that doesn't necessarily mean that this spontaneous arrangement won't work. But the more homework you do prior to making your decision and selection, the better prepared the homecoming will be. Think about what items you will have to have at home in time for puppy's arrival. The puppy will, of course, want to eat. A premium puppy food is recommended. We'll talk a lot more about puppy's diet later in the program. And a food and water dish, of course. A separate dish for each is best. Puppies tend to overdrink, so this will help correct that habit. Also, look at the different types of dishes that are available. The tip-proof with a wide base helps eliminate spills, and specific styles have been designed to keep fluffy ears from mixing with the chow. A leather or nylon collar that is adjustable for your pup's growth, and a 6-foot soft leather leash. You won't need to purchase a metal training collar now. A crate, either airline approved or wire mesh. A crate is simply a rectangular enclosure. We'll cover crating procedures in a little bit. A box will also work in a pinch. A cedar chip bag on the base of the pup's new home will help repel fleas. You should also place 2 to 3 personal scented items to help the puppy feel secure and get to know you. A pooper scooper and sandwich bags are handy for removing puppy poops. Grooming tools will depend on the breed you've selected. For most puppy furs, a soft baby brush is advisable in the beginning to condition the pup to accept brushing. Consult a groomer on tools needed for your breed. Nail clippers will be needed. Specific shears may be needed later if you don't have your dog professionally clipped. A chew deterrent product is handy. Carpet shampoo and vinegar can be used for cleaning up accidents. High-quality puppy treats and, of course, toys. Some pets like to choose their own. Watch out for shoplifters. Don't be surprised at the checkout counter. You've made a good investment. During the puppy's first day, limit the visitors and amount of time the pup is carried. Allow for some play and lots of nap time. Keep the puppy warm and comfortable. Watch for signs that he might want to relieve himself, like sniffing, circling, or running away from you. Take him outdoors to the area that you want him to become familiar with. Always plan to take the puppy outside after eating, playing, or napping. Because of all the changes, your puppy may not want to eat at first. If he doesn't eat for more than 24 hours, alert your veterinarian. For the first night, plan to take up all food 4 hours before bedtime. Remove water 2 hours before. Take the puppy outdoors for 15 minutes before going to bed. Put the puppy inside a box or crate for sleeping and place this next to your bed. A crate, or box, is an environment the dog can have to itself. Allowing him to sleep near you is important for bonding. It also allows him to be heard if he has to eliminate. If you use a box at first, remember it will eventually wear out and will have to be replaced with either a crate or basket.
An airline-approved crate will last forever. You can purchase these at airline offices and pet stores. If you've never crate trained a pup, perhaps you have some questions about what the advantages are to crate training. Let's spend a few minutes talking about this. There are several steps that you can take to make crate training a comfortable and positive experience for your pup. Be sure to purchase a crate which is large enough for the puppy to stand up, turn around, and lie down in, not much more. If your puppy is very small, make sure to buy a crate that's going to be large enough to house him when he's full grown. If your dog is going to be very large, you may need 2 crates, one up until about 6 months of age and a larger one to house him when he's bigger. Some crates come pre-assembled and some do not. If yours doesn't, assemble it out of view of your puppy so that he doesn't become wary of the new device. A young puppy will crate train very well and very quickly, but an older puppy who's had no experience with crates will need a more cautious approach. First, assemble the crate and put it into the puppy's feeding area. Put his food dish 2 feet away from the opening of the crate and tie the door open so that it doesn't slam shut unexpectedly. Also, make sure that no loud noises disturb him while he's exploring the new place. Gradually, bring the food toward the crate, inside the lip of the crate, and gradually toward the back of the crate over time. This might be a period of several days to a couple of weeks. If at any point during crate training the puppy shows a reluctance to eat or to retrieve toys and treats from the crate, go back to a previously successful point and start once more. Once the puppy has eaten several meals inside the crate, standing fully inside and comfortably there, begin closing the door at meal times, opening it to release him as soon as he's finished. Make sure that you do this as soon as he is finished so that he feels that he has some control over the situation. Begin putting the puppy in the crate to sleep at night. First, allow him 15 minutes to eliminate. Then prepare yourself for bed. Putting the puppy in the crate should be the last thing you do before retiring. You may wish to put a blanket over the top of his crate to make it a very cozy and dark environment for him to sleep in. Then, for the small puppy who's been removed from his litter mates, a hot water bottle inside the crate might be a cozy attraction. Listen for signals that he may give you in the night, such as whining or scratching, to tell you that he needs to eliminate. A puppy will rarely eliminate in his bed. Hopefully, though, he'll sleep all night through. Never leave your dog in that crate for more than 3 to 4 hours at a time unless he's sleeping there overnight. To get him ready for daytime crating, start putting him in there for approximately 10 minutes at a time. If he barks or whines and you're sure that he doesn't need to eliminate, say no and wrap the crate sharply. Wait for approximately 30 seconds of silence, then either praise him, give him a little bit of preferred food, or let him out if you wish. But remember, never leave him in there for more than 3 to 4 hours at a stretch, unless he's sleeping there overnight. Crating provides a safe environment for the puppy, whether you're gone or whether he needs to rest or to be confined. He'll soon regard it as a den, and it's a wonderful portable home for him, whether you're on short or long trips. But remember, the crate is not for children, so please don't allow them to play in or around it. Whether the crate is a box or a wire or mesh cage, make the puppy's first introduction to it a pleasant one. Don't force him into it. He may look at that contraption and think, "I'm not going in there. That looks like a puppy eater." The first day is always a big day, and sometimes a long one too. It's important to provide plenty of play and constructive time with family members. Play is a terrific weapon against fear and phobias.
During the first week, make an appointment with a reliable veterinarian. Ask the breeder or your friends who they'd recommend. Or look in the yellow pages under the Board of Veterinarians. Become familiar with those resources to guarantee the best possible health care for your pup. Your puppy should be examined within 48 hours, and the first of a series of shots will begin. Your vet can also make recommendations for puppy's diet and other needs. Ask about worming and heartworm. Plan to visit your vet at least once a year. If your pup gets sick, always bring stool or vomit for the vet to examine. If your pup is female, expect her to come into heat at approximately 6 months of age and every 6 months thereafter. Ask your vet about your breed. It's an old wives' tale that a female who has puppies will be a calmer dog. Also, ask about spay and neuter fees and subsidies in your area. Once the pup is crate trained, a crate is recommended for safety. Cover the crate with a blanket to help him sleep and avoid car sickness. Or, believe it or not, you can even buy seat belts for your pets.
Well, you may have noticed by now that your puppy is having some problems with car sickness. The way you can tell is that when he rides in the car, he begins to drool. He doesn't look like his old self, and he may even vomit. Those of you who have puppies that ride well in the car, congratulations. But for those of you who have problems in this area, there really is something that you can do. For one thing, don't take your puppy anywhere for a while unless you absolutely have to, say to the veterinarian's office. And whenever you take your puppy for one of these rides, make sure that he's not eaten for at least 2 hours before the trip. You can desensitize your puppy to car sickness by allowing him to play inside the car without ever going anywhere. Just have him get inside the car, play with him, show him his treats and toys, let him out again. When he becomes accustomed to this, move on to the next step. Turn on the engine, play with the puppy, turn it off, let him out again. Do this several times. Then you can begin backing in and out of your driveway and praising your puppy and letting him out of the car. Eventually, you can take short trips, maybe to a grocery store, and always make sure that the destination has something pleasant at the end. Say, a treat or a game. Then put the puppy back in the car and come back home. If you avoid curves in these early stages of training, you'll soon find that the puppy will adjust readily, and before you know it, you'll have a backseat driver. Your puppy will ride very well with you in the car. There's another way that you can approach this problem as well. Crate training is wonderful. When your crate is in the car, it's a seat belt for your puppy. One way that you can help the car sick puppy is by, before he ever becomes sick, putting a big blanket right over the top of the crate to make it dark inside so that he'll sleep through most of the trip. Never, never allow your puppy to hang his head out the window when you're driving. This is a dangerous practice. Foreign particles flying at high speeds can hurt your puppy. Think about what a pebble can do to your windshield. Come on out, puppy. Attaboy, Jana. Sit. Now that you own a puppy, you'll need some identification tags so he can be returned to you if he's lost. Identification tags like these can be attached to his soft collar to be worn at all times. When he's 6 months old, he will receive a rabies vaccination. At that time, you'll receive a certificate from your veterinarian confirming this. Register with your city or your county at that time to get his license tag. Another method of identification is what's called tattooing. Tattooing is often done by breed clubs and various organizations. Your veterinarian can do tattooing as well. It's generally done on the inside of the thigh or on the inside of the dog's ear. The numbers used can be your driver's license or social security number. Your veterinarian can do this, and perhaps the best time to have it done is when your dog is being spayed or neutered. This number, plus any other identifying marks, can be registered with organizations such as the National Dog Registry for security if your puppy is lost.
Your pup will soon begin to investigate its new surroundings. Think about what it must be like. Intelligently design and arrange the environment so your puppy can have good experiences. Planning these good times will help shape your puppy's personality. The first week, month, and year will be filled with a variety of learning experiences. Let's look at the first things the puppy and owner will encounter.
The first and generally worst encounter with a puppy is housebreaking. It could be an unpleasant experience for both of you, but it doesn't have to be. Whether you paper train or whether you take your puppy outdoors, you're going to have to develop a little bit of patience during this period. Try to see things from your puppy's point of view. Remember, scent marking comes very naturally to your dog, and leaving stool or leaving urine is a form of scent marking. Some owners, finding this, may become angry and punish the puppy long after he did it. This makes no association in the puppy's mind between what he did and why he's in trouble. Some owners, on seeing the puppy about to go, scream and put the puppy outside. Both of them stand there, panicked, and wait. The puppy, of course, is not going to go if he's upset. Then they go back inside the house. The owner calms down, he leaves the room, and the puppy calms down and goes on the carpet. When an owner reacts this way, what happens is the puppy has no association to make except that he shouldn't relieve himself in front of the owner. And this causes even more problems later on. The best method is to establish a routine with your puppy and to reward him for going at the proper time and in the proper place. If your puppy is unreliable, do confine him when you can't supervise him in a small physically restrictive area. For example, a small room or preferably a crate. If you plan to paper train, place papers on a linoleum floor 5 to 6 layers thick. Make sure food dishes are not too close. Paper training is similar to outdoor training in that you reward the puppy for a job well done. When you see the signs, place pup on papers and softly coax him to go. Keep his potty area clean otherwise. If you plan to outdoor train, the procedure is a little different. After the dog has had a nap, meal, chew toy, vigorous play, or shows signs of restlessness, take the dog to a door, the same door each time, and say in an encouraging tone, "Do you want to go out?" Take the dog on leash to an area which you have designated for elimination. The area does not have to be large, but should be kept clean with the exception of a couple of recent stools or soiled newspapers left as promoters. The dog should use the same area each time he must relieve himself. Allow the dog about 15 minutes and say softly, "Hurry up," or the equivalent over and over. It's important that you use the same words each time, as they can take on the meaning of a command later on. When your dog begins to relieve himself, do not startle him. Softly say, "Good boy," or in the case of an easily distracted dog, say nothing. Within 1/2 second of the time he finishes, reward with words and perhaps a treat. A well-timed piece of cheese or hamburger can be very effective. Let's review this again. Learn to read your puppy. If he's circling and sniffing, he's probably getting ready to go. Stay with him. Allow 15 minutes. Repeat a command, such as "hurry up," softly. It is very important to praise immediately. Praise softly during elimination. Praise lavishly within 1/2 second afterward. Continue this pattern, leaving the dog in a crate or otherwise confined area when you cannot supervise him, but not for more than 4 hours. Your dog needs lots of verbal and physical interaction each day. In addition to praise, you and your family should spend 10 minutes each day massaging your dog. This exercise is designed to help your dog overcome shyness to human touch. First, gently lay the puppy down. Good boy, that's right. If he's the active type, wait until he's already sleepy before starting this exercise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll Baron over on his side here for us to see him. Okay. Start always under chin and chest. Good boy. That's right. And wait until he's very relaxed before moving on to other areas. Good boy. That's right. Good. Good boy. Yes, that's right. Get underneath the fur. Look at his skin. Get under his belly. Get personal. Get into the groin area. Tug the tail just a little bit. Always use treats during the exercise to help them relax. That's good boy. Yes. That's right. That's a good boy. Good boy. You can eventually turn this into a physical examination. Once your dog is no longer touch shy, begin doing this massage, say, once a week, just to examine the dog. And do not avoid the foot area. The feet are a very sensitive area for the dogs. You can see he doesn't like that very much. And his feet need to be handled on a regular basis, and your dog's does too. If you notice any abnormalities, alert your vet. Tell him exactly where it is and when you first noticed it. It's a good boy. Now we've got him. Good boy. Both the massage and the exam will help your dog accept touch from friends, groomers, and veterinarians. Grooming is important to your puppy's health and appearance. You should brush your puppy at least once every week. Nails should be inspected for clipping once a week and clipped at least every 2 weeks. Now, your puppy, as a young one, will need some exposure to professional grooming in order to be able to adapt to this well as an adult. You may wish to take him to a groomer that you trust. During the puppy's visit, he will be bathed, brushed, his nails will be clipped, and maybe even a bow tie will be put in his hair. Make this visit a fun one. Diet plays a critical role in your puppy's growth and development. When choosing a food for your puppy, don't choose an adult food. Choose a dry puppy food. Adult food does not contain the nutrients necessary for your puppy's good health. Also, avoid generic brands or bargain brands. Ask your veterinarian what he or she would recommend. If you're changing your puppy's diet, mix 25% new food with 75% of the old. Gradually increase the amount of new food to 100% over time. Blending the diets in this fashion will prevent diarrhea. Frequent changes in diets are bad for your puppy. Choose one good diet and stay with it. You will find that the premium diets will provide your puppy with a healthy coat, clean breath, firm brown stool, and proper weight gain. Stay away from generic or bargain brands. You may also wish to give your puppy some preferred foods as positive reinforcers. Stay away from table scraps. You may wish to give your puppy a low-salt, low-fat cheese in very small amounts, a crunchy, low-sugar dry cereal, cooked meat, cooked chicken, or bits of raw vegetable. Even a piece of ice cube can be a positive reinforcement, but avoid fish. Fish contains a parasite which can be extremely dangerous to your puppy. Never give your puppy or adult dog real bones. They can wear down the enamel of his teeth, they can choke him, and too often they impact the intestines. Nylabones or other synthetic bones are recommended. And never give your puppy chocolate. It can be extremely toxic. Ask your veterinarian to recommend a good diet along with any supplements. For the first few weeks of life, your puppy depends on his mom for everything. Then he gradually goes to puppy foods. After he's weaned, he's eating 4 meals a day. At 10 weeks of age, he's eating 3 meals a day. After he begins to voluntarily skip that second meal, you can feed your puppy 2 meals for the rest of his life. At 3 to 4 months of age, your puppy will begin teething. At about 8 months of age, he will be through. There are a few teething aids that you can use during this time.
You can use, of course, a synthetic bone, or you can give the puppy ice occasionally. Raw vegetables are a good idea. And a washcloth dipped in bouillon, twisted and frozen, is a great teething aid. Puppies go through incredible growth spurts and definitely need all the nutrition they can get. Can you imagine a St. Bernard who weighs 1 pound at birth can weigh up to 100 pounds by his first birthday? Expect your food bill to be the highest during the first year. After puppy matures, he'll eat less.
Acquainting your puppy with new situations is called socialization. Exposing the pup to people, places, and experiences is the process of building self-confidence. For example, if a puppy isn't exposed to people early during the socialization period of 7 to 12 weeks of age, it may be afraid of strangers and overly dependent on its owners. Socialization should continue beyond the 7 to 12 week critical period. What commonly happens is the puppy may suffer from anxieties and become very aggressive or shy when meeting new people. It's very important to expose the puppy to well-behaved dog, cats, and well-behaved people, providing they've all had their shots. Some general rules are: don't praise or try to comfort a pup when he shows he's afraid in a safe situation. Don't rush him into situations he's unsure of. Allow him time to adjust at his own rate. And don't make loud noises or unexpected moves when the puppy is being introduced to something new. Bring treats and toys with you when you go out to socialize. Be sure to express your confidence when confronting new situations. Play with him, use treats, and speak with a soft, cheery voice. If your puppy is afraid of a person, object, or place, allow the pup to investigate. Try to reinforce confidence. Invent a game involving the feared area or object. Work patiently to eliminate this fear. Never leave the situation while the pup is still frightened, unless absolutely necessary. And never, never rush a puppy away from a safe situation that he's afraid of. Many puppies are terrified of automatic garage doors, garbage disposals, vacuum cleaners, shadows, blow dryers, and so on. Good socialization makes a dog much more adaptive, especially in fear situations. Puppies are naturally playful. They tire quickly, but soon after a nap, they're ready to play some more. A puppy can lose his play skills if he isn't played with. You need to stimulate play for curiosity. Play teaches discrimination. It gives pup a foundation for learning. Remember, dogs are bred for working, hunting, and bringing back prey. It is important to give your dog something to do. Teach him to bring things to you. Take him with you to get the mail or to pick up the paper. Keep your dog employed. No one likes to be unemployed. Developing and creating play skills are especially important for pups that are or will be left alone.
Socializing your puppy to new people can be easy. You'll want to pre-warn your guests that you've got something for them to do. Give the pup's favorite toy and bait to the greeters. Tell them to squat, not staring at the pup, and offer one hand with bait, and say the pup's name softly. Allow the pup to approach as he wishes. The new acquaintance should pet the pup under the chin and chest, and allow the pup to take the bait and/or toy. The greeter should never pet the top of the pup's head or make a sudden move toward the pup. You should not pay any attention to your pup at this time. Allow him to seek attention from the stranger. Give the pup opportunities to meet lots of men, women, and children before he is 3 months old. Never leave a puppy alone with a small child. They are literally partners in crime. Animals can become great companions for young children, but children don't always understand the pet's threshold to pain. Dogs will eventually respond to the pain caused by tail pulling or eye poking, and this is why some dogs don't like children. Children must be taught to respect the animal, how to play safely and gently. Most children are loud, unpredictable, and make quick movements. The initial exposure to children should be very positive. Children 4 years and older are ideal. They will understand what you tell them to do and treat the pup accordingly. But it is always the responsibility of an adult to make sure the animal is a safe, non-biting, soon-to-be kid lover. It's also very important to teach children that not all dogs can be treated or trusted like their own pet. A dog can be both a guardian and friend to a child and teach him kindness. Puppies should have experience with friendly, older dogs as well. Proceed with caution when introducing a pup under 16 weeks of age that has had DHL-PP inoculations to other dogs. A pup this young does not have the immunity to disease he will have as an adult. Under no circumstances should a pup without up-to-date inoculations visit other dogs. Choose a dog you know that is well cared for and has a good disposition with puppies. Put the dog on leash with a soft buckle collar and allow the puppy to approach as he wishes. It's best if this dog is not overactive or too large for the pup to play with. When both are engaged in play, allow them off the leash in an enclosed area. One of the most dangerous behaviors a dog can engage in is food or object guarding. It is not true that a dog should be left alone to eat. A dog that guards food can be dangerous. The best way to prevent this problem is to be with the puppy at a young age as he eats. Be around the food dish, handle the food. When the puppy chews an object, hang on to that object so that the puppy can get a good grip on it and be present as he chews it. If your dog is too old or too aggressive to work with in this fashion, seek professional help. When your puppy is 6 months of age, he can be kenneled. Ask friends or your veterinarian for referrals. When you've chosen a kennel, take your puppy there for visits. Be sure to play with him there and introduce him to the attendants. This gives your dog a chance to get acquainted with this new environment and, more importantly, lets him know that you're coming back. Trust is the strongest bond between a dog and its owner. Before you go on your business trip or vacation, take the puppy to the kennel before work and pick him up at noon. Next time, leave the puppy there all day. When the dog understands you're coming back, he'll be comfortable when it's kennel time. And when you go on vacation, he'll think he's on vacation too. As a working pet owner, you need to put together some special attention times for you and your puppy, such as walks and exercise programs, both before you leave your home as well as upon your return. Loneliness, boredom, and lack of exercise can cause bad or mischievous habits in a puppy. Plan a few special puppy attention times. It can be as much fun for you as it is for your pup. Remember that although a lot of owners feel guilty on leaving their dogs, if they just use a little creativity, little planning, they can put together a terrific recreation program for their dogs. Quick home indoor or outdoor exercises are great. These can be fun tricks or training exercises. Also, praise your puppy and finish with a treat. When you're leaving for the day, keep it low-key. It's less emotional this way and it won't cause anxiety. Keep a toy by the door to toss to your pup as you leave. Turn a radio on and let the pup enjoy the latest news, music, and weather. Another voice is calming. Dogs have excellent hearing, so not too loud. Try to come home for lunch around noon, or ask a neighbor to drop in. If your children come home before 3 o'clock, perhaps they can keep your puppy company. When you return, greet him with a calm hello. Reserve active play for after you've returned, not when you first walk in. Wild hellos can create anticipation, and your dog may become destructive if you're delayed. If you're using a crate, never keep the puppy in it for more than 4 hours at a stretch. If you plan to be gone all day, put the puppy in a room such as a laundry room or kitchen with newspapers on one end and food, water, and bedding on the other. If it's a carpeted area, buy a linoleum remnant to put on top of the surface. And if the windows are curtained, draw the curtains so that the puppy won't be agitated by outside events. Remember that puppies relieve stress and boredom through chewing, so provide some safe toys for the puppy to play with when you're gone. In general, be sure to feed your pet properly. Let him out to relieve himself before you leave and immediately when you return. Pay as much attention as you can by exercising or playing with your pup in the morning and at night. Quality of time is just as important as quantity of time. The friendship between man and his dog is one of the oldest and most long-lasting in history. The first dog, domesticated by man was a wolf, about 12,000 years ago. But archaeological findings note the presence of dog-like animals as far back as 25 to 30 million years. Probably, along with primitive apes, lived an animal with canine characteristics. After millions of years, this animal became the ancestor of the wolf, the jackal, the fox, coyote, and all canines. Over the years, as domesticated as dogs have become, they still maintain some of their ancient social structure. Dogs inherited a similar social structure to those of their wolf ancestors. A dog has a dominance order, where every member has a rank, and no two members share the same rank. Americans live by a democratic structure, where all people are treated equal. These two systems, dominance order and democratic structure, conflict. You cannot expect a dog to think, act, or react like a person. For one thing, people use verbal language, and dogs use body language. Behavior influences the dominance order with either dominant or submissive behaviors. However, no dog is completely submissive or completely dominant. His behavior depends upon the environment in which he is and the situation that he is exposed to at the time. A dominant puppy would exhibit behaviors like direct eye contact, ears up and forward, tail up, standing over another dog, using a body block, and guarding possessed objects like food, toys, and bones. You may also see willful disobedience, stealing food and objects in the owner's presence, mouthing, biting combined with other dominant signals, and refusal to take a submissive position like rolling over. A submissive puppy would exhibit behavior like looking away, ears back or to the side, tail down or tucked, lowering the body, lying down, and/or rolling belly up. Submissive urination, relinquishing possessed objects willingly, obedience, leaving his food when the dominant member is present, licking a face, and pawing, or doing a handshake. Pushy behavior characterizes a dominant pup. Friendly subordination characterizes a submissive pup. Puppies will begin to exhibit these behaviors with their littermates. In a very short time, you'll see the confidence and communication between the two of you increasing, and that puppy's general behavior will begin to blend with yours. You and your pup will become a team.
There are literally hundreds of different activities that can be considered problem behaviors. Puppies are lively, they're energetic, and they're bound to get into trouble at some point. But typical puppy problems can be solved. Chewing, jumping, barking are all typical puppy behaviors. Let's take a look at some of these problems and their solutions. Gracie, here, sit, and down. Let's go through these individually. First of all, don't expect too much from your dog. When he comes to your home for the first time, he really doesn't understand what your house rules are. You must show him, you must teach him, you must supervise him until he begins to take up the desired behavior. Furthermore, if you correct harshly for the beginner's mistake, you'll only confuse him. He won't understand why he's being corrected. Secondly, supervise. A dog left alone engages in behaviors which become bad habits later on. Furthermore, if you correct a dog for making a mistake more than 30 seconds after the fact, you will have little or no effect on the problem behavior. Use light corrections for the undesired behavior. When you see a beginner dog making a mistake, startle him to stop the action, then show him what you want. But don't frighten him. Frightened dogs don't learn efficiently. In fact, he may learn what you didn't intend him to. Positively reinforce the desired behavior. When the dog responds the way you want him to, respond immediately with a positive reinforcement, such as a treat, toy, or other item that the dog desires. Also, always positively reinforce within 1/2 second of the desired behavior to strengthen that behavior. And finally, don't expect too much. Every clever circus dog started by learning to sit. Start with simple demands and increase to more complex demands as the dog is able to achieve them successfully. Chewing is our next problem, and prevention is the key. If your puppy has enough opportunity to chew the wrong things, he may learn habits which are hard to break. Never give your puppy personal things to chew, such as slippers, old shoes, socks, etc., unless you want your puppy to chew them as an adult. Also, when your puppy is out of the crate, supervise him closely, making sure that he doesn't chew the wrong things. If you find him chewing something that he shouldn't, startle him using a loud no, hand clap, or shaker can. When he backs away from that object, praise him for doing the right thing. Then present him with a toy, one of his own. Do not force it into his mouth, however. If you force it into his mouth, he may learn to think that this is some type of punishment and avoid that toy in the future. Once he's had a lot of experience with his own toys, you can go into what's called chewing discrimination trials. What you do to get the pup to discriminate between those things that are yours and those things that are his is to gather up some personal items, such as slippers, socks, books, etc., and treat them with a chew deterrent, such as those commonly available at pet stores. Dogs really don't like the taste of deterrent. Then what you do is you give the puppy a taste of the deterrent by applying it to a Q-tip, so the puppy knows what deterrent tastes like. Treat these items with the deterrent and then let them dry. Put your scent all over them and place them in a room with his regular toys. He will soon associate the bitter taste with those items which are your personal items, and he'll learn to discriminate between the things that he should chew and the things that he shouldn't. It's easy to keep your puppy from begging. Just don't feed him from the table, ever. Sometimes adults will watch as a child drops food to the floor and the puppy cleans it up. What happens there is the puppy will learn to beg. And although it may be very convenient at the moment or very cute, when the puppy weighs 50 pounds more, it's going to be a real nuisance. So teach your pup to lie down during meal times. When the meal is over, so is the command. The way that you do this is by starting with a cold lunch.
Down.
Believe me, if it doesn't start out cold, it will end up that way, because you're going to have to get up many times to put the puppy back into position. But it's worth the effort. It's a little difficult, but it's certainly worth the effort because the dog is so much better mannered during meals. Another problem that a lot of people have with their puppies is jumping. Jumping behavior stems from the fact that puppies love to greet face to face. And because we stand on 2 feet and they stand on 4, it's a difficult thing to do. So what a puppy does is jump up to meet you. Well, of course, we've got to solve this problem without making them feel too bad about it. Best way to do that is to start out with what's called the paw hold. What you do is, without using the puppy's name, you entice them to jump up and then hold on to the paws for a very long time. When the dog is good and tired, let him down again. Do this several times until the dog is reluctant to jump when you pat your legs. Now, this will generally discourage jumping behavior because the puppy feels that he's trapped. Do this several times and I think you'll see that your puppy won't jump up on you quite as much. If the paw hold doesn't work for you, or if the puppy bites your hands too much, you may wish to use the paw press. This is where you grab the puppy's foot with the thumb pad over the top of the puppy's foot, your middle finger on the bottom, and squeeze, press quickly. Do not hold and squeeze, just squeeze and press quickly and then release. Do this several times and most puppies will stop that jumping behavior. If the puppy continues to do this with guests who are really unarmed, they often aren't expecting this to happen, what you can do is set up situations where you have friends walking through the front door. Have your puppy with you on leash. When the puppy goes for the guest, one of two things can happen. Either have them do the paw press, have them do the paw hold, or you can use your leash and correct with a gentle bounce to get the puppy off. By the way, do use the word off
instead of down when the puppy jumps up. Down means lay down, off means get off, all right? The best plan is to teach your puppy an alternative behavior, such as sit. Gracie, can you sit for us? Good girl. Have your dog sit to accept praise, and you'll find you have a much better mannered dog, because then your dog can get what he or she wants on your terms. Aggression is one of the worst problems you can have with your pet. It's the one reason that more adults and children every year mistrust dogs. It can be a real problem. But not all biting is aggressive. For example, when begging for food from the dam, who regurgitates a soft meal to weaning puppies, the puppy will often lick and nibble on the lips of the dam. And this is actually a food begging gesture. It's very affectionate. When the puppy's ears are back and his tail is wagging, this nibbling is not aggressive. However, true aggression, that is biting with intent, can be a major problem for you and for your family. A lot of lawsuits are filed each year on behalf of mail carriers, bikers, joggers, and children. So as you can see, it is a major problem. Now, when working with your dog, you will want to teach your dog not a dominant behavior such as biting, but a submissive behavior such as licking. Licking is the opposite of biting. Teach your dog the command lick, lick. When your dog is not biting you, you never want to reward your dog for biting behavior. Get yourself some peanut butter or some margarine and smear a thin film on your hand. Present it to the dog and say lick, lick just before the dog takes a lick. When the dog licks, of course, he's immediately rewarded by the peanut butter or the margarine, and also learns a new behavior, lick, lick. Then when you're interacting with your dog and your dog begins to bite you, say no, lick, lick, and hold your hand out in the same way that you did when it had peanut butter smeared on it. When the dog licks you instead of biting, praise, good dog, that's right. When children are interacting with the dog, it's very difficult for them to control the biting behavior. They should be told that as soon as the puppy begins to bite, they should fold their arms, say no, and walk away. By walking away, what they do is end the game. And when they end the game, it's in essence a punishment for the puppy. If the puppy wants to continue the game, he'll learn to be more gentle in the future. Now, barking is a protective behavior that you can either encourage or discourage. For example, when your dog goes to the door, if someone knocks, you may want to give him some type of command to let him know that it's okay to bark, such as, who is it? Who's there? When the puppy barks a couple of times, praise him, say, good dog. Then say, quiet. At that point, you'll want to physically restrict the puppy from barking because he won't understand what quiet means. Simply wrap your hand around the puppy's muzzle, wait for a few moments, praise him, say, good boy, give him a piece of food as a positive reinforcer, and then say, break. Break simply means that the puppy may bark again. Do this a few times until the puppy is quiet without having to have his muzzle wrapped with the hand. The next step in teaching the puppy what quiet means is to test him. Find out if the puppy knows what quiet means by showing him a piece of food treat and saying, quiet, once he started barking. If he's quiet as he looks at the treat, you know that he understands what quiet means. At that point, you may correct him if he barks when he shouldn't, when you say quiet. By the way, another type of punishment that works extremely well is a squirt gun, so you might want to keep that in mind. It takes a little extra time and effort to teach the puppy the quiet command, but believe me, your neighbors will love you for it. And remember, the important thing is to stop a behavior problem before it advances to the point where you want to give your dog away, or an accident occurs and you have to have him put to sleep. Ready? Puppies aren't puppies very long. They grow and change so fast. And the time to shape the adult personality is during puppyhood. Now, owning a dog is a tremendous responsibility. Dogs depend on us for everything: food, shelter, and guidance. And the best way to get the most from your relationship with your dog is through training. Now, there are about as many ways to train a dog as there are dogs. And you've seen some examples and some methods to train your dog in this tape. Many of the methods can be changed with good result. But remember, no matter what, two basic principles always apply. First off, dogs are not people. They have their own way of thinking, their own language, their own social structure. And secondly, the most efficient way to change your dog's behavior is through careful application and potency when using punishment or positive reinforcement. When you train your dog, keep these words in mind. I want everyone to love my dog just as much as I do. And remember that the time to develop your dog into the unique and wonderful companion that you want him to be is during puppy's first year.